My name is Miss McRoy, and this is my student Jane, and today we're going to be learning how to put together a clarinet. So, showing you the case real quick, you're going to see these metal pieces right here. They lift up. You're going to want to make sure, whenever you're holding the clarinet case, that two things are happening. You want to make sure that your clarinet case is on a flat surface, and you want to make sure that these little metal flaps are facing downward in resting position, not in open position, but they're sitting downward. So you give it a try. All right, awesome. Now, your legs are a very great example of a flat surface, but a flat surface can also be a table or the floor or even a chair, as long as you're not also sitting in it. So now that we've got our little metal flaps here facing down, you're going to want to lift them up. You're going to want to pull these little dealies down, and then you're going to want to open the case. Awesome. So now we have the case open, and for the rest of this, I'm going to put it on the floor, okay? Just so we can make sure that everybody sees the parts. So, you see this big black tube that has two brown ends and a lot of keys, right? Mm-hmm. When we pick it up, we want to make sure that we're not holding it by the brown part or the cork. We want to make sure that we're not holding it by the keys. We want to make sure that we're holding it by this black part right here, because holding it by the cork or holding it by the keys can do damage to those parts of the clarinet. So, I want you to try to pick it up for me. That's awesome. Now, when we take it out to put it together, you're going to want to hold it in your left hand, and you're going to want to make sure that your thumb is on this key right here, just holding it down real gentle. And the reason why we do that is because this metal piece right here pushes this up so that when we put our second piece on top of it, it doesn't bump into the pieces of that, because it could possibly damage the instrument. So you take it in your left hand, you're going to hold down that, and you're going to want to make sure that you keep that key held down while you're picking up your second piece. It's going to be your second long piece. It's going to be the only other long piece in the case. It's got one metal end, it's got one brown cork end, and it's got a bunch of keys on it. So you're going to want to pick that up, and you're going to want to hold it so that the metal part is facing down. You're going to hold it the same way that you hold this piece, in that you're not going to be holding on to the keys, you're not going to be holding on to the cork, you're going to be holding on to the black portion of the clarinet. So give it a shot. Now let's make sure that this piece is facing downward, so that facing towards you. This piece right here is going to be facing towards you, so that you can put them together, and that's going to be your next step. Now, before you put them together, let's pause. Let's make sure we're doing everything right. You're holding on to the black part of the clarinet. You've got your thumb on this key. Awesome. Now, you're going to want to move your right hand forward. You can use your body as a brace for the part in your left hand. And you're going to want to, making sure that you're still holding the key down, you're going to want to move them together, and you can grip onto it for just a second if you need to twist it together. The idea is that you want to get it twisted. You're going to want to be using a twisting motion, not just a pushing motion. Awesome. Now, a great way to check and make sure your parts are lined up while still holding on to this key right here is you want to turn it to your left.
This part?
Just the whole thing, the whole clarinet. And you're going to want to look right down here at this little T-shaped part. Now, when you put it down, you want these lines here to be in line with this part right here, with this little part right here. So you might want to adjust it by turning it to your right just a little, making sure to keep holding down the key. You're all right.
So close.
You can turn it just a little more to your left. It's not the most fragile instrument in the world. You just want to use reasonable caution. Alright, awesome. So you've put together the body of your clarinet. Now, the next part that I would usually put together is your bell. Can you tell me what you think the bell is?
The mouth. The little mouth.
The little mouth. That's great. That's a great way to describe it. So you're going to want to pick it up. You can just pick it up however. It can go on. It can go on. It doesn't have to be facing like a certain... This part doesn't need to be like facing any certain direction. And you're going to want to put it... Awesome! You got it. That's exactly where you're going to want to put it. You can use your body as a brace. You're going to want to keep using that twisting motion. Just because forcing it down on there might damage the cork a little, so you want to make sure that you're twisting it, you're doing what you need to do. Awesome. So the next part that we're going to put on is this pretty little piece called the barrel. Now, to know which part that you're going to put on there, because it's a little confusing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to want to take this little fatter part right here, and you're going to put it right on that last exposed cork, and you're going to want to twist. You can flip it around if you want to. You can use your bell now as your brace against your body, and you're going to want to twist it the same way that you were twisting it before. Awesome! So, the next piece is the most complicated. I want you to lay your clarinet just flat across your lap, and I want you to hold on to it with one of your hands, okay? Now, I want you to take your other hand and I want you to reach down and pick up the mouthpiece.
Okay. There we go.
Now, the mouthpiece has a little case, and you're welcome to take that off, and you can just lay it right next to you. And the next piece on there is your ligature. Now, before we get the ligature set, there's a lot of things going on. The last thing that we need to get out of the case is the reed. Do you want to tell me what you think the reed is?
The wood part.
The wood part. Awesome. So you're going to want to take this out, and you're going to want to very gently pull it out. But before we do that, we want to take the ligature off. So you're going to want to, facing you, the ligature is this metal piece right here, and facing you, you're going to want to take the little pegs on the side, and you're going to want to twist them away from you to loosen the ligature. Towards you to loosen the ligature.
All the way out?
Just out enough that you can get it off, and then maybe
it's coming off.
Yep, it's coming off. So you're going to want to take your reed right here, and you're going to want to pull it out of its little case.
Oh.
Awesome. Now, before we start playing, we want to do a little bit of a damage check. Every once in a while, your clarinet might be damaged, your reed might be damaged, so you want to make sure there's no chips in the mouthpiece and there's no chips in the reed. Now, I want you to put that reed in your mouth.
How? Like this?
You're going to want to, this way, with this darker wooden part facing down. You're going to press it right against your tongue. You're just going to want to hold it there. You can flip it around. Very careful. Yep. You can put a little more of it in there if you like. So, just get it a little wet, and then you're going to want to take it out.
Okay.
You're going to want to, on this side right here where the hole is, you're going to want to line the flat part of the mouthpiece facing down. Line the very top of your reed. You're going to want to place it just like on top. You're not putting it in the hole, you're just placing it right on top. And you want to try to line up the top of your mouthpiece with the top of your reed. So when you touch the top of your mouthpiece, you can feel the reed and the mouthpiece.
Like that?
Yeah, and just to test to make sure it's kind of in the right place, you want to touch the top of your mouthpiece to make sure that you can feel the reed and the mouthpiece. If you can't feel the reed, you need to scoot it up a little. Can you feel the reed?
Yes.
You might want to scoot it up just a little more. Just a winkle.
I can feel them both.
Awesome. And then you're just going to want to center it on there.
Okay.
And then keeping that hold on there, you're going to want to pick up your ligature. Do you remember what the ligature is?
Is it this? No, it's this.
Yes, awesome. So with the pegs facing your right, you're going to want to slip it on there, just making sure to keep your reed in place. You can touch the top of your reed with your thumb if you want to. And you're gonna want to loosen it enough that it'll fit in between these two little lines right here. The bottom of it is gonna want to fit in between those two little lines. And then you're gonna want to twist the pegs this time away from you just enough that you feel a little bit of resistance. You don't want to squeeze it too tight because you might damage your reed, you might damage your mouthpiece, you might damage your ligature. So the second you start feeling a little bit of resistance, you're gonna want to, and then take your clarinet, use your body as a brace, and put it right on top.
Here?
Yes.
Like that?
Yep. Then
No
you're just
matter how
gonna,
this one's lined up.
you're going to want to, you pose a very great question. You're going to want to turn her over so that you can see just this one key back here, and then you're going to want to make sure that this is facing up while you're doing that.
This?
Yep. Awesome. You have put together your clarinet. How do you feel?
Good.
Awesome.